Hi, welcome into my studio. Time for a very quick review. I've got electric pencil sharpener, this Jacquard. Had it in my drawer for a couple of weeks. Haven't got around to doing a review, but I've been testing it out because I know some people like the electric sharpeners and I wanted to see how it performed with pastel. Also, some people could have, I've got a member of my Patreon who wanted to invest or possibly look into a sharpener they could operate with one hand, so this may have been a perfect solution. Now, as most of you will already know if you follow me, my pencil sharpener I usually use is this fairly inexpensive swordfish sharpener. I like the crank handles just because you could, if you want, you can just do the occasional turn, or you can give it a couple of turns. You're in complete control of it. You can actually just remove this as well, replace the blade if you wanted to, although the blade, in all honesty, is probably roughly the same price of the sharpener anyway. The good thing with this Jacquard electric sharpener, once again, you can replace the blade in it. Now, the sharpener is not cheap. This one cost me around about £30 compared to the swordfish. I think was probably about £7 or £8. The replacement blade for this, that's around about £9, so you don't have to keep replacing the motor all the time. So there's the box content. We've got a simple instruction manual. The lead is directly plugged into this, so you couldn't remove that if you wanted to. As per usual, your shavings collected in a tray in the bottom, and notice how fine those shavings are compared to a regular hand crank handle. And if I show you the inside, you can see that although some electric sharpeners actually all they've got is a motor and a small plastic hand sharpener, and the motor just turns the plastic hand sharpener, nothing more than that. This one at least has got a proper crank sharpener inside, just as you'd find in the swordfish, so I'm much more confident that that's going to last a bit longer. As far as replacing that, there's no instructions in the manual that I could see at all. I think you've got to undo these 4 screws inside, then you've got another 2 screws there, and I believe that'll just pull off, and simply push a new blade in there and do the screws back up. So simple enough. You can see the difference in size compared to the swordfish, so it's not a small unit by any means, which is, I suppose, quite good because we know we've got should have a decent motor inside of it. So let's see how it performs. Okay, so this sharpener does have an auto cut-off, but just like with the hand crank sharpeners, I don't like to sharpen my pastels too sharp, because when you go too sharp, the nib is actually going to break anyway. You can't sharpen them like a needle point like you could with a coloured pencil. I also think that seems to make the sharpeners last longer. My swordfish, I've been using them for around about 2.5 years, and I'm on my second one. So I think they last in really quite well. I put, every now and again, I put one of these, any make will do, just a pure lead pencil. That seems to lubricate the sharpener or the blade. I think it makes it last that bit longer again. So let's just see how this looks and also sounds. Okay, so nicely sharpened, nice and smooth. I found them really quite loud and also a bit aggressive. Let me compare it against my normal crank sharpener. Now, normally you would have this attached to the table, so the sound obviously is quite dramatically different. For a friend, could you use this with one hand? I would say yes, potentially. That seems okay. The feet are not non-slip, so what I would probably do is either put little non-slip feet on there or a small non-slip mat, and then it should be okay one-handed. I'd prefer to use it with 2 hands, because then I can just get my fingers quite close to the edge, because it feels like it's dragging it in, and it can sharpen your pencil right down very quickly. So I like to feed it in slowly If I get a camera like that instead. So my finger, there's no chance of it going in the hole, but my finger will stop it. Go a little bit more. And that's probably a little bit, I go just slightly more than that. And that's about as sharp as I would ever go. Could it go sharper? Probably. So yes, but like I said, that tip would just break anyway. One thing to keep in mind with this sharpener, it works with the small, I think about 8mm pencils. That's actually a Gioconda, so that's a soft lead or a soft nib in there. I'd expect that to break quite easily in some sharpeners, so it's coped really well with that, but it doesn't really cater for a thicker pencil like the Caran d'Ache. I think I can just about get it in. No, it's just slightly, ever so slightly, probably about 0.5 millimeter or a millimeter too thick, the pencil, so you couldn't use it with those, but definitely with your standard ones. For those that are interested, since I've got the sharpener out, might as well run a few coloured pencils through it just so you can see how it works with those. So Faber-Castell Polychromos. Now that's actually to the auto cutoff. You can actually feel it when you're pushing in, but you can't go any further. So I'll just do another one of those. So you can see nice and sharp. I'll try a Derwent drawing. It's a bit of a thicker pencil. And that's because it's a thicker pencil, you see it's just slightly too thick. It'll feed in, but it's dragging it around, so that's probably slightly too thick. That's probably a 9mm shaft on that, so you've got to keep that in mind. As I said, the shaving's really fine in there. So would I be using that all the time? I think it's just down to preference. Personally, I like it quiet when I'm drawing. I find I've got even more control over the swordfish. But for those that like electric sharpeners, this Jacquard seems perfectly fine so far. Only time will tell after a good few months of use. Hope that has been an informative video, and I'll see you all again real soon. If you're looking for even more great art sources, I've really got you covered. First off, I've got a Patreon channel. It's been going well over a year or so, packed with around about 50 or more videos and new ones every month. Lots of the videos are many hours long, so you can see they're really in-depth. Subjects such as turtles, birds, elephants, big cats, you name it, is on there. So that's my Patreon channel. And also on that Patreon channel, before I go on to something else, I've got a secret Facebook group. So only the members are actually on there. It's the most supportive and friendly Facebook group that I've ever seen. I know I'm biased, but it really is. We've got 400 or 500 members on there, and they all help each other. So that's a great added bonus. That comes free with it. Also, you get line art every month as well. And we've just designed a brand new companion website for it. So if you've joined other Patrons and channels and you found it very difficult to navigate around, we got this free website that comes with it. All the videos are now just a single click away. It couldn't be any easier than it is. I've also got my site, jasonmorgan.co.uk. Lots of tutorial videos, DVD discs and downloads on there. And if you're struggling for reference photos for your art projects, I've got some of those too. I've got 900 plus on my website, wildlifeart-online.com, and they will be copyright free for you, so you can paint and draw from them and sell your work with no copyright worries whatsoever. So hope you like those extra resources, and I'll see you all again real soon.